of honor and confer upon you from this day forward, March 23rd, 2024, induction into the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame, where, sir, your accomplishments will forever be remembered.
You guys are really lucky. As Forrest Gump said, Mr. President, I have to pee. This may not last that long. Hank, I just wanted to let you know, I'm 2 days older than you. I was born in Manhattan on May 24th to your May 26th. I got you, dude. And apologies to Mike Porter for Perfect Turn. We're trying to do something that would be lasting in the industry. He's giving me a thumbs up, so I guess I'm okay. Everybody starts with thanking everybody. And my biggest dilemma in this was two things. First, they said, we really want you on the stage for 5 to 7 minutes. Now, nobody's done that. I'm gonna try, okay? Because I know some of you probably have to pee too. But as we go forward with this, my dilemma was, I don't have 2 names or 3 names or 5 names or 10 names or 20 or, I wrote down 175 people that were instrumental in my life, in the decision-making process, who were crazy enough to follow me. There's 5 tables of those people that are here tonight. I'm more proud of them. A lot of them have accomplished more than I have. But to thank everybody, to thank you, to thank everybody that voted for me to take the rest of the evening. But, yep, here it is. Here you all are.
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you all. I love you all. So we like telling stories, and we love the sport of riding and skiing. And I think that the first thing that needs to be said from me to you and from you to everybody that you know, riding and skiing is the most fun 2 people can have standing up with their clothes on. Period. Never going to be anything better than that. If you understand that and you have the passion for the sport, which is why you're in the room today, whether you're on the side that makes the snow and runs the lifts so the Olympians can have a place to train, or you're making the skis that are now shaped so almost anybody can do a perfectly carved turn. Whichever part of the industry you're in, publishing, watching, participating, you have a passion that you feel about the sport. Some of us have had what we call out-of-body experiences. I remember the first time I was powder skiing at Wiggly's, 1973, 74, sometime back then. I met Mike. The resort was really new at the time. And that's when I had my first out-of-body experience. That's when I was on skinny skis and I was in 4 feet of powder and didn't know which way was up and didn't know where my body was. Many years later, after the skis got wider and I got a little heavier, I learned how to float. And as every ounce and every muscle in my body was working and was creating the endorphins, I felt that out-of-body experience, and I knew that this was an industry that I wanted to be part of my entire life. That odd opportunity that you have on that one day when the 2 feet of powder hits and you can feel that, where you leave, your mind leaves your body, your soul becomes free, your body becomes one with the snow. That's what skiing and riding is all about. That's why you're all in the room today, and that's why I'm so thankful to be part of this industry.
All right.
My story started with my father, who was born in 1886. I was born when he was 63. He was not the guy that was going to take me skiing. In the 2nd grade, I met Harvey. Harvey's dad had been in the Second World War and had started a surplus store. And there was a lot of surplus stuff. We started skiing on skis that had no edges in 1956. We got cracked edges in 1958. That was really great. You carried around a little screwdriver and some spare edges to hit the invariable rocks that we were going to hit every time you went down the hill. I remember going Killington chairlift with blankets over me that weighed more than I did in 1961. Harvey's father brought me along with their family because I sat in the back seat of the 1952 Imperial with Harvey on one side and his sister, who was constantly fighting on the other side. I was there for war and peace, and that was the reason I got to go skiing every Saturday and Sunday growing up in Teaneck, New Jersey. That brought me to Ithaca College. I went to sign up for classes, and right next to the desk where you signed up for classes, there was a counter that was labeled Greek Peak, Seasons Passes. And off to the side of the counter, there was a little sign that said, Instructors Wanted. Okay, I got a 1.3 my first year in college because I was making $7 an hour as a ski instructor in Greek Peak, teaching down, up, down, as opposed to up, down, up. One of those, the gentleman that was inventing that was Gordon Richardson. That led me to finally graduating with a C+. I think I was the best C+ student that ever graduated from Ithaca College. I want to point that out to them when they ask me for money. They need to advertise the fact that they can take the handicapped and get them a real job. There were no jobs in 1971 for people that had a 2.3 average. The accounting companies didn't want business majors that were done that poorly. The marketing companies didn't. But I got a job thanks to my dearest friend, my daughter's godfather, so God damn it, there's a name that's going to come out of my mouth now, Mike Krongle, turned me on to the fact that Killington was hiring people for a management training program. I figured, why not? I didn't have a job, I was married, I had 2 dogs. Not the one that you saw there, that one is not with us tonight. But I decided I would take that chance, and I worked for $2.25 an hour from July until November. Then I got a raise, made $150 a week, but worked more hours, which then turned out to be $2.15 an hour. I did that long enough until they shuttled me off to Sunday River in Maine, where, as my friends would say, it took me 7 years to run it into the ground so I could afford to buy it. You didn't hear me deny anything here, did you? It might be true. In 1980, my mentor came to me and said, talked it over with press, we'd like to sell you Sunday River. I was like, oh yeah, great. How am I going to do that? I don't have any money. He said, well, you can buy it on the installment plan. We'll lend you $856,000 and you can pay us in 5 years. And when I don't have anything to lose, I took him up on it. 5 years later, I paid it off. That was an opportunity that was given to me that I was able to take advantage of. And what I understood from that was that I needed to pay it forward. And so from about 1985 going forward, I recognized that everything that I was going to get in life was going to be because if I gave something first, then I could expect to get something. I'd given 7 years of my life to try to make Sunday River work, and it didn't. They paid that back to me by giving me an opportunity to do what big corporate couldn't do and little old Les might try to do. That taught me a couple things when I came to Utah. The first thing that we did in Utah was we offered all the kids in the school system a free season's pass if they got an A. I was reminded today that when we broke ground on Red Pine Lodge on September 3rd or 4th, which is after Labor Day, because no one wanted to work on Labor Day weekend, Red Pine was built because people believed in what we were going to bring to Utah, and it was open by Christmas. It's amazing. It's one of the most amazing construction stories in the history of the ski business. What I also learned from that was something that started back in 1982, when my now deceased best friend came to me and said, Les, we need to teach kids with spina bifida, cerebral palsy, and other handicaps, and it was okay to use that word handicap at that time, and we formed something called Maine Handicap Skiing. And the goal was to make skiing accessible for anyone, regardless of how they appeared or presented themselves physically. Whatever their disability was, if we could get them on skis, we could change their lives. That program today is still in operation, going strong. No participant has ever paid 1 penny to take part in that program.
Yeah.
When you look at the face of a child that's 11 years old, who has just gone down the mountain by herself in what we call R2D2, which was 3 or 4 skis on either side, and something in the front, something to hang on to, something to strap you into, and something to get down the hill. You see the expression on that child's face. You understand that you have just given that child that out-of-body experience that you have had on that perfect powder day. And the growth and the ability for someone to change and grow with that knowledge that they've accomplished the sport of skiing, which is gravity, creating speed and risk. It's amazing. So as I sign off tonight, what I'd like to do is challenge you to do what I have done and what I will continue to do, is make skiing accessible for everyone. Make skiing and riding something that overtakes the handicaps that so many people face, whether it's a vet that has been injured in war or a child that is born without arms. No matter what it is, there's a place in our industry for those people. And if you pay that forward, it will pay you back tenfold. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.